Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Gamer Reaper. So today we're gonna have a conversation that I've been seeing lately in the news, and it's been talking about. Well, it's kind of a little bit out, but I've been seeing that some game companies have been talking about $70 for for one piece of game, and I was like, okay, so these companies, they see that a new generation is about to be launching soon, and I guess on their side they're thinking like, oh, well, we should be charging them $10 more because like if our development cost is going up and stuff, we should be charging them more in order to make you more extra money. And I see from some people, they kind of been debating like, well, we've been, as the consumer, we've been used to the whole $60 thing for quite some time. So I mean, the thing I've always been curious is are consumers more comfortable with buying a game at $70? I would, I don't know, from my perspective, I would probably think like probably no. I mean, some people probably would be cool with it, but I would think a lot of people probably, a lot of people, they would probably be more willing to, not willing to buy the new copy. Especially, I mean, it would make people more. They were more willing to like probably look at someone else who actually is playing the game to probably justify the justify if they really want to sacrifice that $70. Because think about it, like some of the games out there that are released was as a $60. Some of the games out there, they've only have like a few hours, and then there's other games where that game can provide hundreds and hundreds of hours because there's a whole bunch of different type of games. And I mean, like, if a game was costing $70 instead of $60, it would just, it would make it almost just seems like, to me, from a consumer aspect, that like the consumer would more likely not buy it at full price unless like it's something that they're actually known, like they know the company that's working on it and it has a good track record, or it's something that's really popular and they're just going to buy it anyway. Some people will be on the more of the fence and like, you know what, if it's going to cost us $70, I'm more likely I'm not going to buy it until it goes on sale. So I feel like, and then on top of that, it just seems like to me like more people will probably try to get it when it's at a more lower price than if it's at the regular $60 price. But it will take in more consideration that people will be like, they will be more hesitant in buying it from the first go. Depending, yes, like I say, depending on what type of game it is. Because like I say, if it's like one of those sports games, we already know people are just gonna buy the game anyway. Or if it's like if you're like a really big first person shooters type of gamer, and you're getting tired of playing like the other shooters and you want to get the brand new one, you're more like, I'm just gonna buy it anyway. But if you're kind of more where like, I kind of wait until like maybe a few weeks, or who knows, maybe a few months after buying it, you're considering just buying it later because it's like, well, I've got other things that's more important on my list to be buying. I mean, in the times that we are, like, I was happy that like 2K was talking about like, okay, we're gonna retreat back on that price, but I feel like further down the road, like they're a lot of these companies are going to try to try to reintroduce that price again, so people get more comfortable paying, I guess, at that price. I just think the thing is that like if you're going to, my thing is this, like, I'm no expert. I'm just only just a regular person, just like everyone else. But I feel like if you're going to charge people, if you're going to try to charge people $10 more, and it's going to be $70 for a full price, then I feel like you shouldn't be having extra costs that are attached to the actual game. Like, perfect example, like you see like certain like pricing features in there, like microtransactions, and it's like a lot of microtransactions. And I get it, a lot of times they do like customizations and stuff like that. And I mean, like, a lot of the times, like, I mean, if you go back into the old days, you know, those games were never like games, you know, they didn't have as many as you know, customized, you know, aesthetics you can add to your character, or you can add to extend your actual game. And I mean, like, having these actual extra features, and then in some ways, I feel like in some ways the microtransactions, especially when they start adding in like the loot boxes and stuff, it definitely gives off that gambling mentality, because you know it's like you rolling the dice on like some roulette at a casino table, and you don't know where the ball's gonna land. It's kind of the same thing. It's like you don't know what the software is actually picking out of that virtual box to I guess show whatever type of like gift that you're trying to gun for. So I mean, like, if you're gonna like I say, if they're gonna charge at that price, I just feel like have like less microtransactions, or none at all. Like, the only thing they should be really adding in, if you're going to be charging the $70, is really just, okay, season pass, or add in like, you know, the traditional DLC. Because I mean gamers, you know, gamers are pretty smart. It's not like they're gonna be dumb enough to like, hey, we already know that, like, okay, you got us through the door with the game, but like now, you know, when you're just trying to milk us, you're trying to just nickel and dime us for everything we have with these little features that you have that you'll toss in, and you'll act like, oh, it's a time saver, or you'll make it like it's a you create like some sort of scarcity going on, to where like, oh, you've got to buy this now or else it's gone forever. And I'm like, I know the microtransactions are probably here to stay, but I feel like they shouldn't be in every game, because if they're, you know, you know, in more ways, it kind of just ruins some of the experience that, you know, the actual consumer goes through when you're playing some of these games. And I know, like, say, some games, they need microtransactions in order to survive, because that's what they live off of. I can understand if you're like free to play, but like if you're a AAA title type of you're making a company's making a AAA title game, you know, I feel like there should be less microtransactions, especially, like I say, if they're going to be charging the price more, there's need to be not much. But on that note, yeah, that's the conversation on that. If you guys like what you saw here, please hit that like button and hit the subscribe. And if you have any comments or suggestions that you want to add in, or hey, if you want to hear me talk about something else, feel free to hit me up. This is Gamer Reaper. You guys have a great night. Pow!